Friends, here we are implementing a simple shell script to execute different commands on different servers with different users and different passwords. See, suppose I have these two remote servers. See, already we implemented a shell script to execute same commands on different servers with the same username and password. See, if you go with our previous shell script, so here we are reading server names, only server names from this file. And on each and every server, you are repeating this loop. So you are executing these three commands on each and every server. So same commands you are executing on multiple servers with same username and password. That's why we are directly providing our password name and username here. Now my requirement is on server 1, on remote server 1, I know username as automation and its password, suppose. But I want to execute on that first server date command. And same way for second user, I don't have automation user, but I know one of the user called Tomcat and I know the password for that. But here I want to execute command as who am I. Now your commands are different, your usernames are different, your passwords are different. Now in this type of situation, how you can implement a shell script, right? See, first follow the order. I mean, in each and every line, just write first server name, then username, then password, then the command which you need to execute. In second line, again first server name, username, password, then the command which you want to execute on second server. Once if you follow this order, just take this information into a file. Let me save this information into a file called serversinfo.txt. I am storing into this file. Now let me save it. See, if you go with your previous shell script, using for loop, you are able to execute your same commands on multiple servers. But here not same commands, even not same user, not same password. Then how you can do it? Let me do it. I am writing simply different users passwords .txt, sorry, .sh. So before that, yeah, let me save it. See, what is our file name in which we stored the content? serversinfo.txt. Suppose if I use for loop to read the content from this file, how it will work? First observe that. For each server info in cat file name do and done. See, here I am displaying the your each server info. First observe the output. Now let me provide the execution permission for this. Now I am running. See the result. Your for loop is able to read the content which is there in your file, but see, in this file you have a content, right? Let me open that file as well. But it is not reading entire line at a time. It is reading this as one value, second value, third value, fourth value, then fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. That's why you are getting 8 lines. See, if your for loop is able to read this entire line as one field, then you will get first 4 lines in one line, but you are not getting that. That's why whenever if you have this type of information, your for loop is not suitable for your requirement. Then how you can implement your code using while loop? Let me show you that first. As of now, you don't know about while loop, but no problem. Just observe the code how we are implementing. Let me remove this. So before removing, let me copy the file name. See, if you go with either for loop or while loop or until or select loop, do and done are common. In while loop, at the end, at the done, just to provide less than symbol, then server, I mean the file in which you have your information. Then before do, just write while read. Here you can write any variable, each server info. Now see the result, how it is executing compared to your for loop. Very useful whenever if you have this type of situation. Now let me run our shell script. See, you are able to read the entire line at a time by using your while loop. Each server info into this variable, you are getting the entire line at a time. right? That is one thing. And second thing is, if you already know how many fields are there in each and every line, directly here itself you can provide 4 fields. So as of now you have 4 fields in each and every line, right? That's why instead of each server info, if I take only one variable here, into this variable your entire line will store. Line by line you will get into this variable. But already we know in each and every line we have 4 fields. That's why, see, I am modifying our while loop in this way. Instead of each server info, in your line you have 4 fields. First field is server name, second field is username, third field is password, fourth field is command. Now see that I am printing server name only, $server. Now see how it is working. First let me show you your code and see the content of your file. Now run your shell script. See the result, you are getting only server name. If you have 4 fields in your file and in your while loop, while read is the syntax, and here you can take any 4 variables, so that respectively first field will store into this, second field will store into this, third field means your password will store into this variable, your command will store into this variable. So your while will read this entire line first time for first iteration, and here you have 4 fields. That's why your 4 fields will assign to these 4 variables respectively. That's it. Now I can implement our shell script. See, from our previous code we know how to execute a command on your remote server. Now let me execute that. Very simple. First let me copy that command from our previous session. Simply /pass -f, but here our password is there in a variable called pass. That's why I am taking -p, then substitute your variable. See, this is a password value. Now I am substituting that /-o strict host key checking. Now automation user is not the fixed one. While working with your first server, different user, second server, different user, but automatically your user name will come into this variable. That's why I am substituting user. And server is also, anyway, server is different and server is there in this variable. That's it. Now command, your command is there in cmd, just I use different variable. That's it. So that's it. Now let me run this and see the result, how it is working. So servers info, our shell script. Now I am running that, see the result. Oh, what happened? 77779. Yeah, let me check it. What is the code? /pass -b password host key checking, no, $user. Yeah, I have given 2 times $, so that is the problem. Let me remove $1. So $, means PID, right? Now you are getting output, date command output. See, if you see the content of your first line, command is date, and you are getting the output for only first server, but second server information is not executing in your while loop. This is generally your SSH will expect input from stdin, but I want to avoid that. So this is only in your while loop. So that's why you can add one option called -n, means don't expect input from stdin. If you go with the man command of SSH, somewhere you have -n option. So you can use -n, or at the end of your command you can also provide /dev null. See that -n redirects stdin from dev null. I mean, be clear guys, this is very very important. Let me save it. Sorry, you can write here -n, or at the end simply you can write dev null, but don't write those two. I mean -n and dev null, either any one of that, -n or at the end less than dev null, you can write it, but -n is the best option. So -n means don't expect any input from stdin. That's it. Now let me save it and run your shell script and see the result. Now you are getting output for your 2 servers. For first server, command is date. For second server, command is who am I. That's why you are getting that. See, if you want to need a clarity, then you can write some echo, no? Before executing your SSH, I am writing here echo executing command on server with user as, let me write the username and password. Just for your understanding, I am displaying this content. That's it. So that you can understand on which server, what is the username and what is the password it is taking. See, executing date on this server with user as automation and password as this one. Executing who am I on this server with user as Tomcat and password. Right? Not only one command, you can execute multiple commands also. Right? See, suppose, let me modify our script, I mean our server's information first. Suppose on first server, along with the date command, suppose I want to execute one more command called uptime. Then on second server, I will execute uptime and let's say simply date command, uptime and date. Now you have to modify your while loop. Now you have 5 fields, right? You have 5 fields. Then let's say command 1 and command 2. Automatically your command 1 will store into command 1 variable and command 2 variable. Then here command 1. So instead of writing simply cmd, write command 1 here. And same logic you have to repeat for second command as well. So in case if you have some n number of commands here, you can also implement a loop instead of writing these 2 lines 2 times. We'll see that. So this is just for your understanding why we need a while loop in your real time, even though if you have for loop. Simply command 2. Now see the result. And one more thing, after completion of your work with first server, just for differentiation purpose, I am writing. Now let me save it and run your code. See, you are getting the content. On your first server, you are executing date command first, then uptime command second. On second server, you are executing first who am I, where is the command? Yeah, who am I, and date command. That's it. So guys, this is the way how we can execute multiple commands on, different commands on different servers with the different users and password. Very, very important for your real time. Okay, thank you.